nicely. The government debit card that's, I think, looking at the list, £11,000 at Fortnum & Mason, which I suppose doesn't buy you an awful lot there. £345,000 at the Foreign Office for restaurants and bars. I mean, clearly the taxpayer needs to know about this, but one reflects that it was actually Labour that introduced these credit card or debit cards back in 1997.
Yeah, these procurement cards were introduced in 1997. They are for civil servants to use. These aren't cards given to politicians or ministers, but to those in their departments in order to smooth the process of procurement. Now, the government itself says that using these cards rather than traditional form-filling means of doing expenses saves on average 35% per transaction. That's what the government says, that actually this system saves money. But of course, the Labour Party will point to the areas that may be viewed to be frivolous spend. And of course, when we look at this sort of spending, the Foreign Office comes under a great deal of scrutiny in particular because of the hospitality events it puts on in our embassies around the world, for example.
Soft power.
Exactly, and sometimes that might seem overzealous. When, for example, a pink photo booth is rented for a Washington, D.C. party. Is that really money well spent? Well, I suppose it's for others to decide.
Yeah, or photos at the Treasury during Rishi Sunak's time, and of course we've actually got government art sort of in the various storerooms. However, Angela Rayner has had to defend herself over some Apple equipment. AirPods, which is the sort of Wi-Fi
the AirPods
speaker.
Pro they were. So these are wireless headphones that do noise cancellation. Angela Rayner said at the time, she bought them on expenses during the pandemic, and she said that this was because she had to do a lot of video conferencing.
Right.
However, the website Guido Fawkes has dug up a number of instances where she's doing video conferencing and isn't wearing the AirPods. So perhaps that isn't quite the full explanation, but of course it drags everyone into this tit-for-tat example. It's why it might not be the smartest game for the Labour Party to play. If they start talking about MPs' expenses, everyone will start to say, perhaps, they're all as bad as each other.
Yeah, because the paperwork is there with all the numbers for people to look at. Tom, thank you very much indeed, and more, of course, on the political front as we get it.